Hello, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I am just realizing if I'm going to start streaming like this, my starting screens or any of my branding makes absolutely no sense. Hello, welcome. Of course, me here, once again in the flesh. Had to do it for the first time on the weekend. And now, we're going to do it again, and you can see me in all my panic and glory. Catch all my ticks live, but heck, if it makes it more relatable, then I'm definitely down to try. Of course, had an exciting weekend that just happened. Of course, the first IPL 500 was just, or has just happened, was completed. Was extremely exciting, but then the way it finished is basically a tournament organizer's worst nightmare. I will absolutely be going over that play. And then from someone who's also had a bunch of TO experiences, why just nobody wins in this situation. And it just sucks, to say the least. Because otherwise it was an absolutely incredible event, and like I was having an absolute blast the entire time. Being on the stream, being on Illuvium stream was incredible. It was a fantastic experience. Definitely something I'd love to do again sometime, as long as they would like to have me. Then, of course, that's not all for IPL. IPL 250 happening this weekend. We'll touch on that and what to expect from that, because it looks like they're changing things ever so slightly compared to what the original IPL 250 was. But it does make it a little bit more accessible. We'll go over that, of course, shortly. Now, lastly, after that, excuse me, after that, we're going to make one final push to climb that ranks ladder ever so slightly. I'm very excited to be a part of the top 300 players so far. I went from having a rating of 1150, which is below the amount that you start with, and then just like actually trying to focus in my off moments here and there throughout the day. Was able to climb up to, I believe it was 1337. Of course, elite. I got the elite rank, had to post about that. That was kind of cool. And we'll see. I was excited just to break 1300, but if we get lucky, maybe we can get into the 1400s. So that'll be the game plan for today, and of course, going into Friday, I believe we do not have the perfect time slot in regards to the IPL 250, so we'll take a look at that momentarily and confirm. But of course, it will be my 2 months of streaming here as Silence Errand, and I am extremely happy and proud to have been able to do this, basically not leaning at all into my past work and building something my own from scratch. Is definitely something I'm extremely excited about, and what the next month of streaming will end up looking like, or at least my rough estimate of a rough plan. We'll get all into that on Friday during the progress report, and then after that we'll see what we can do. That doesn't usually take up the whole stream, so we'll find something additional as well. Turn the music down ever so slightly here one more time. Optimally, I'm not yelling and screaming right now because, you know, kids are trying to sleep, so I won't be peeking the Discord server. Not this time, anyway. Oh, that's why my stuff was laggy. Okay, there we go. So first, of course, the thing that I want to go over, the IPL 500 that did just happen last weekend, was the higher the prize pools for compared to the 250 going into the 500. And of course, I was invited to be a part of the Illuvium broadcast alongside Illumination, and then various guests throughout the stream as well. And that was definitely quite exciting. I'm not gonna lie, they glazed me up good. And it felt good. I'm not going to lie. I hope that I can keep that up there for them. Would love to keep having those opportunities. But of course, from what I understand, I am not going to be on the stream for this IPL 250 coming up. With the main idea just being because we have plenty of community members as a part of the Illuvium community, of course. And if it's the same caster over and over again, I don't care how good they are, you're probably going to get bored. So I think we have a new duo coming in this time by, but we'll see. If something does change, I'll absolutely let everybody know, but from what I understand, that was the idea behind it, at least as of right now. Of course, when I'm looking over here, I've got my chat and my OBS, so I swear I'm not staring off into space. Now I'm more self-conscious about every little thing. Nose itching, face itching. I can't hide behind my VTuber avatar like this anymore, can I? Alright, so without further ado, let's briefly take a look at this IPL 500 that just passed. Okay. So, am I centered? I am absolutely not centered. We can fix that. There we go. Yeah, so the IPL the IPL 500 that just happened over the weekend, I think there was about 350 to 400 players just playing in the play-ins alone, which was extremely exciting. Granted, there might be a little bit of overlap of players playing in both, but that is a long period of time to be grinding at Illuvium. So, I highly doubt there is as much crossover as I might be thinking. But still, 400 is pretty exciting, and I see that even bleeding over now into the ranked play. There's been many, many times that I would just play on off hours, random times in the afternoon, random times in the morning, and I'd see that there's 80 to 120 people playing. And a lot of these players in ranked, and then if I turn the ranked toggle off, it ends up being like double because there's more people that are playing the casual mode, just kind of trying to get used to it and get into it, which was extremely, extremely exciting. So, tell you what, the Illuvium Pro League's been doing exactly what it needs to do, just as long as the competitive side is not the only thing they're going off of, I will be extremely, extremely happy. But of course, all those players were fighting in to try and make the top 64. And as I scroll through, I'm not going to read all of them off, but you can see lots of familiar faces throughout the lists from our past tournaments, whether it had been the Leviathan tournament, whether it had been Dreamers Esports, or even the last IPL 250 that happened a couple of weeks ago. Like, lots and lots of strong players in this one, and it did not disappoint. We didn't get to see the round of 64 on stream because we started, I believe, at the top 32, but there were some rather decent surprises going on into this one. Like, scrolling through some of the matches, see if I can get into round 2 here. There's, I guess, just to kind of sum it up, because I don't want to go through specifically every single round in particular, but a lot of killers that we would have expected to have made it into the round of 32 didn't end up doing so, but we did end up getting a pretty exciting quarterfinals as well. It was good to see Winnie picking up a lobby win here as well. Of course, Moo, who ended up winning the entire thing in that lobby as well. But some players that were in our finals, even like Zico Perico and Oles Gazaria, they had a hard time initially during the quarterfinals, but really pulled it back in those later rounds. Same thing with Blinks. It looks like Hollow was absolutely on a tear as well. To nobody's surprise, Fox Spirit as well, finding wins. Fancy Pants as well. which of course then got us into our semifinals. And this is where things started to get kind of messy. Because this one I'll actually go over here. So, Kazaria did a fantastic job getting second in the first round of this semifinal. Same thing, Fox, Spirit, Nariba, Sika Perico, then Anubis, Oris, and then Patates and Mu all having a hard time here. Meanwhile, the other rounds, of course, I'm Fishy, Zerhan, which I know was a fan favorite, or at least a commentary fan favorite. I know Tholki was looking to see them pop off here quite often, and was doing quite well, to be completely honest. Narkish, who we now know was a Team Fight Tactics, I believe, commentator / player, so it was good seeing them do well as well. And it started getting kind of scary for some of our killers here in the tournament. Excuse me. Like Slicks is always one to look after. Hollow, of course, you're always looking after them. And then in round 2, it kind of got a little bit weird as well. Anubis went, I believe, from last in the first semifinal to first, which is just so scary to have to actually pull off, because a lot of things have to go in your favor with the rest of the lobby in order to even be in contention to win. Like, the first, or from 8th to 1st, doesn't guarantee you in at all, which is scary to say the least. Because that's pretty much, I believe, what we've seen here with Fishy. Because, of course, they had gotten second in the IPL 250, and was not expecting, but I was curious to see how far they would go here today, or in the last weekend's tournament. And I thought this would have been enough. I believe they got first in the first round of the semifinal, and then they got 7th, which was actually incredibly scary. I remember, I think I posted the clip online, but it was Zarin that went up against Fishy and took them out. And that 1 point difference when they were both at very, very low HP made the difference between Fishy losing the tiebreaker or not. Because I don't know, one of the things that a lot of people, and even to a certain extent myself included, was frustrated with, was the tiebreaker relied on highest placing. It kind of contradicted itself. Like, highest placing final round or something along those lines. So it only took the last round into consideration by highest placement. From what I understand, the TOs and the tournament organizers realize that's an error. However, that's how it was written off the start, and unfortunately, you cannot change the rules in the middle of the tournament. So that was the first thing that I know ticked a lot of people off. I believe a lot of people kind of got bit by this. Fishy ended up getting bit by it. Hollow Hype ended up getting bit by it. Because in theory, you would go by your highest placement between everything in the round, everything in the semifinals. Which in theory, Fishy should have had handedly, because they had won one of the rounds. But alas, that is not unfortunately how it was. But again, the tournament organizers are absolutely aware of it. I would not be surprised to see that changed going into our IPL 250 here today, because the way that I'm explaining it, where it's across the entire round, I believe was the intention, but not the way it was written. So it had to be done based off of the way that it was written. Which of course led us to our grand finals, which was of course a best of 3. Or 3 games total, rather. It's not necessarily a best of, but I guess best of. But it started off extremely interesting, of course. Mu getting the win immediately off the rip was probably an upset of sorts here. We know Mu is good. I mean, we've seen him win pretty consistently in the Dreamers esports tournaments, and showing up ready to rock here as well. I know, personally, I wanted to also see Zico Perico do really well, because in the IPL 250 from a couple weeks ago, they won so many lobbies, and they got to the grand finals, and then they just got, I think, 8th twice in a row, which was unfortunate, to say the least here. And then your usual suspects here. Your Fox Spirit's up there. Lynx is up there as well, of course. Zico Perico in 4th. Slicks ended up getting 5th. Narkish 6th. Then Ole Gazaria and then Zarin. Round 2 kind of set the table, though, or set the scene to make a fantastic grand final, though. With Fox Spirit winning, Slicks doing well and getting 2nd. Moo again doing decently as well, getting onto the podium with a solid 3rd. But then like Zico Perico getting 5th, Zarin bumping themselves up, Gazaria bumping themselves up. I think like going into that grand final, excuse me, I think going into that grand final, 4 players were mathematically possible at winning this thing, which was absolutely incredible to see. You could not have lined that up better if you tried. No scripting in this one. Then going into the final round of grand finals, of course, Lynx, Narkesh, and Zarin had a little bit of a hard time. The big surprise in that lobby was Fox Spirit falling out so early. For them to drop in 5th, and I believe it was based off of a Moo versus Fox Spirit battle that might have done it. That it made it weird because I believe at that point Fox Spirit was ahead by 1 point, so them falling behind so badly opened the door to many players to get themselves in here. Moo getting 4th was solid, but it made it scary, and all eyes were on the top 3 here. So for Zico Perico, who I think could have played spoiler had they won the lobby, but didn't end up doing it this time. Still a solid finish nonetheless, but it ended up becoming a heads-up game between Ole Gazaria, who was mathematically out of it. However, obviously they still want to get a good finish because the prize money difference between a 4th or a 3rd or something was actually rather considerable. So damn right you're gonna play your ass off in this instance here. And Slicks was in the perfect position as well in that moment where they were 2nd, like sitting 2nd. If they finished there, at the very, very least, they tie. I believe that's how it was. But the most heartbreaking of final rounds ended up happening, which was incredible for all of the wrong reasons. That's what ended up happening. So had Slicks won the lobby, he would have been put into the tiebreaker between Moo and Fox Spirit, which then, based off of the rules, would have taken the best finish of the final round, which means Slicks would have won that tournament. But as we're going to see here in a second, let me kill the music. I have the clip of the final round and want to kind of break this down as to what exactly just went down here. I'm going to let it play out in full once. Then from there, we'll go through it.
We got, of course, the tank sitting in the back line. We also have there a monk here and a mule, so it's going to be interesting seeing the positioning and up very much to the right side for the green side. And everybody is focusing this big bull right here in the last rounds of the finals. Big Ramfire Omega coming in, dealing a whole lot of damage to the enemy team. And it is looking dire for the red side because we still have this Scorpion alive. And he might just take down everyone with a few stings off his tail. Here flies the Monarchs, though, taking down Slicks. Oh my god.
Okay, so yeah, that was the very, very final battle.
Interesting seeing the position.
And first thing I want to say about the stream itself, I have to give mad credit to everybody who worked on the stream. I know Illumination did a ton of work throughout the week to try and up the production value, because during the first IPL 250, like, it was still good, don't get me wrong, but you can tell it was still very chill. Going into the IPL 500 though, with when Illumination did it, definitely all the graphics. I think we had seen at one point here he's using like the tracer, the arrow, to try and like show where exactly the important parts are to look, like getting interactive with it. That's extremely cool, and I really like that. And big props to him for leveling things up so quickly here. Now, this is, of course, the battle at hand, with mainly rogues happening here for the side of Gazeria, so looking to burst things down extremely quickly. But the fighters and berserkers coming out here from Slicks was set up quite nicely to go up against it. And the fact that the burst damage, actually right in the circle there, we see the Scorpion, the Riptor, is loaded up with items. Let me see, actually, if I can get my own cursor back on here. Normally I hide my cursor, but it's kind of necessary here. Is it going to show? It's not going to show. Okay. Unlucky. But pretty much right where that arrow is. So, of course, the Scorpion is the big carry, the one that Slicks is going to be expecting to be the big damage dealer, be there at the end to finish the job. And at this point here, it got extremely low and then slowly healed itself back up. It's taking everything out. And at this point, cleans things up. It's going on over to the final two Illuvials here for Gazeria. In 10 out of 10 scenarios, like 100 out of 100 scenarios here, this Scorpion runs through these two. What the amount of outs that Gazeria really has in this instance is not many. Like, sure, they have a bunch of crit damage possible with the 7 rogues. They have execution with the Predator, 4 Predators, and then they have the Phantom, which allows their Omega to crit, and that, I think, is the thing that really screwed up the game here. Because they're going on over. First off, this unfortunate here for Slicks, the Sting goes into the Quinks, so the Monarch does get to fly away. But in theory, in this scenario, the Monarch does not do that much damage. You're kind of like, you're standing in the fire, but it's not really meant to be burst damage. It's more so damage over time. The Monarch flies through a crowd of Illuvials, and it's just slowly chipping away at everything kind of style. But if you look at this here, look how much each tick is chunking. And we can see the contrary with the damage numbers that are actually being applied up above us here. So yes, the one Illuvial on the right is taking a little bit more damage, but it's a weaker Illuvial. It's got less defenses compared to the Riplance. But that's not the problem. The fact that it's saying like it should be doing 46 damage. Like 46 damage per second is about the standard for a Monarch. The Monarch doesn't have any augments on it. It's relying purely off of Phantom crits, which is totally fine. However, these damage numbers are not matching up. Health bars for these Illuvials are in the thousands. Thousands of health. So 46 should not be chunking like that. Not in the slightest. So the most heartbreaking scenario here for everybody was that, unfortunately, this Grand Finals did end off of a bug. Now, I've seen the Discord literally go nuclear, and the Twitter space go nuclear as well, like with everything under the sun being thrown out. Because in this instance here, it's literally the last fight of the game, and there's a total of 8 players here. You can't remake this. And in a TO's perspective, because of course before doing this Illuvium stuff long ago, I ran hundreds, of Super Smash Brothers tournaments, which I get is a fighting game, not a game like this, but hear me out. I've been a coach and a TO to where I'd witnessed a player get screwed in the grand finals because of a bug. If anybody ever watched competitive Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, that thing was an absolute mess, and specifically, of course, Bayonetta. And like, she would be able to get kills essentially on characters with full HP because of bugs and things not working as intended. The difference, of course, TO-wise, is that it's not Nintendo running these tournaments for the most part. These are community events. Meanwhile, yes, this is Illuvium running their own tournament for their own game. But in this instance, like, I'm actually trying to think of what I would do, because I remember in Smash, I had done something kind of similar where what people were asking, because people were saying, well, in theory, you should just pay out 2 people for first place then. The winner, and then like compensate the guy who got the bug done to them. The thing is that money doesn't just come out of nowhere. And it's heartbreaking, and as a TO, I was put in that position, and I highly regretted following what the players had asked, because there was one time where it was a similar kind of scenario between the 2 players, like final lives kind of scenario, and something completely wonky happened in terms of a bug. I can't remember exactly what happened. It probably had something to do with Bayo, let's be honest, but excuse me. But I believe I took money out of my own pocket to then give first the first and second and that grand finals a payout, because I felt like that was wrong to have it end like that. And what I would then see shortly after that is any time a bug was known, players would try to work together to recreate the bug in grand finals to try and have something similar happen when it was like, say, 2 buddies in the grands. And it just got manipulated. So, 1, the money doesn't come out of nowhere. And 2, if you do cave, it's leaving room for manipulation in the future. And I do not envy Illuvium in this position, and I'm not just like taking that kind of side because I was on their stream and like casting this thing. My face is covering it right now, but I am in the corner, like right behind me, casting this. But I just don't know like how they would be able to just get a win for everybody, which then in turn is a lose for everybody, because the players are obviously mad. Like, I had seen what Slicks had posted on X, and I do not blame them in the slightest. I'm not saying how they that Slicks was feeling was wrong. No, I completely agree. But there's a whole other side to the tournament organizing and things that the average person will not have to really worry about. And yes, it is a little bit weirder because it's Illuvium themselves running their own tournaments for their own game compared to, say, a community running a game for Smash, for example. But some of it does kind of cross over. And like Illuvium taking no action on it is definitely heartbreaking, but I do not blame them given the situation. That makes sense. Because I know even when I was casting this thing, I'm hiding in the corner, my camera fuzzy as ever. I do not know why it was doing that throughout the entire weekend. It's the same camera I'm using right now, and it seems fine to me, so I don't know what that was all about. But like, I was getting ready to make the call, as in, like, okay, here comes Slicks, he's about to fight back. Because everything statistically, given the state of the board, should have had that as the final round, or not the final round. We should have been going for another round. and unfortunately that was not the case. So I definitely do feel bad for Slicks in particular, but I am also very, very thankful that there are many, many other opportunities to compete with IPL. And this is also a learning experience for not just players, but for the TOs and whatnot as well, because obviously this is not a situation that anybody wants to have to do again. I'm just trying to think, because I would refrain from even trying to do a remake in a 1v1 fighting game, let alone an 8-player free-for-all. That would have been ridiculous. The one thing that was also a benefit, though, at least, if there's one guy that you want to have on stream and see that incident happen live, it's probably the game designer. And as you can see, Niels is there and got to witness that firsthand. I can guarantee you that is on everybody's radar now, and just a matter of time before we figured out what fixes it. Was still, though, an absolutely exciting event. It does suck that it had to end on a bug, but it's not the first time I've seen this in esports. It's definitely, sure as heck, not going to be the last. Even in big AAA games, your major esports, bugs still happen and screw things up in critical moments. Certain games are able to fix it, like I know, say with League of Legends, for example. For the Summoner's Rift, they do have the Chrono Break system where they can basically remake a game to a previous state for the previous from the previous game, so it's not a full remake. But again, this is also a long time, decade-old game that people have been developing to make their esports scene the best in, or one of the best in the world. So remember, esports here for for Illuvium, this is chapter 2, or like chapter 3 or 4. While some of these other companies have chapter 2035. So my final thought on it, of course, is, as the TO, I understand what Illuvium had to do there. As painful as it was, it's definitely a stain, but I don't see how you do it any differently without opening the door to exploitation in the future. That being said, I still completely agree with the players that feel like they got screwed. And I know it's a bit of a middle of the road thing, but like, I see both sides. I get it. Now, in regards to the IPL 250s, so these are the ones coming up this weekend. Again, I'm not personally scheduled to stream on the Illuvium channel, so if you were specifically looking for me, it might not happen. So do want to give you the heads up there. Nothing is wrong, just of course, like I was saying before, got plenty of community members looking to do some commentary, so do a nice little rotation, and hopefully I'll be back sometime if the opportunity is there. But for this IPL 250, they are going to do the dual time slots. So just like what they did with the IPL 500. And it's looking like, for me anyway, so Eastern time zone, one of the sessions starts at 2. and then another 4 hours upon completion, so from 2 to 6, then from 10 to 2. I know the stream crew was asking if I'm going to end up competing in the IPL 250 since I have the have it off from commentary, but I probably, like, to be honest, I probably will not. Not because I don't want to, but the time slot just doesn't work. 2 o'clock, I'm in the middle of my day. I'm not necessarily in a position to do any gaming for the most part. And then 10 p.m., that's just unfortunately too late for me. Or going from 10 to 2, that would be really late. So unfortunately, that also means that it doesn't necessarily line up for our stream on Friday. So I guess that does allow me to do the end of month progress report pretty well unhindered. And we'll see where we go from there. Top 12 are going to qualify from both of these. So again, leaves the door open to a lot of people who might just be joining the IPL. What's up, Gear? Good to see ya. Good to see ya. Yes. Based off of the feedback that I've been seeing in a few areas, I would talk about it a little bit more during Friday's monthly progress report, but based off of 2 factors, will have me kind of doing a bit of an experiment for this next month coming up. So, yeah. During the weekend, I had face reveal to be on the Illuvium stream. And I'm rather comfortable with it, as I'm thankful that I have the setup that I have now, where it might be a little bit tight here in the corner, but at least I'm right back to a wall. Maybe need to fix up a little bit more lighting, but get this shadow off my shoulder, or I'm doing the wrong way, but get this shadow away. But it's a little bit of nitpicky things that I can absolutely upgrade. I know it's not a face reveal for you, yes, of course, but to the general viewer base it was, yes. And I'm still keeping silent. I'm not going back to any old tags or anything like that, because those, to me, are not my tags. They were essentially given to me, and then I didn't have anything better at the time. But again, I'll get on to all of that a little bit later, as Friday will probably be a little bit mushier of a conversation. But yeah, it's still gonna be silent, and possibly have the month be a lot more streams like this. Make a quick adjustment to my chat. I know Twitch can be stingy on their free stream policies, so I'll just make logos disappear. But yeah, it's good to see you here. I hope all's going well. Yeah, so with that for the IPL 250, we'll probably recap it the Tuesday afterwards, as we usually do. I know I will be tuning in as often as possible. And just go from there. Now, with that being said, we have about another hour 15 minutes or so of stream left. And I'm going to try my damnedest to squeak in a ranked game or two here. I'd absolutely love to be able to go higher if possible, obviously. Well, duh. But again, just broke the 1,300 mark in terms of my rating, which was a personal best. And I want to see if I can get it maybe a little bit higher. Currently top 300 in the world. Can I make that top 200? Changes for game night, by all means, let me know. And I will, of course, see what I can do. Flip it on over. Gotta make an adjustment again here. Let's see how it looks in game. I might need to put a background here for the chat so I can see y'all. Here, screw it, we'll do it live. Okay, let's try this out. I'm gonna have to resize this too because I'm not sure where it stands on the game overlay. Forgive me, something I just kind of added a little bit last minute into the chat here. As of right now, that sounds fine. I will have to, of course, double check everything, but in theory, it should be fine. No, it's okay. I don't mind early. If anything, it means I'm home by a decent time for everybody, so it works perfect for me. Do I break everything? There's a big old blob of blue. Alright, gotcha. Yeah, of course, as always, no promises, but I'm gonna do what I can to make it happen. Let's see. Couldn't do it fast enough. Was trying to match my ranger. Wasn't quick enough. Okay, and then in these early rounds, gonna briefly autopilot while I fix the chats. This needs to come down a touch. Something like that. Make sure y'all can actually somewhat see me in here. framing is Garbo, though. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't make the decision to not be a VTuber today until maybe an hour before. As you can probably tell, based off of my scuff. Pro streamer at its finest, and honestly, I know you're just joking, but this is kind of one of the reasons why I was so worried about everybody knowing that it was actually me. Because my whole problem was that, not that expectations would be too high, but for me personally, going from a stream where I had a studio, I had all day to prep it, prep each stream as best as possible. Granted, there was a ton of things that would always make it difficult. Lots of last minute changes, so it wasn't very consistent in that regard. Well, of course you knew, because I told you. But yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, for a streamer like myself here in this... Oh, my beloved Emberling. In Emberling we trust. But, sorry. Is that how that happened? Oh, I thought I told you. Whoopsie. Well, I thank you for being here nonetheless. Yeah, like I was very, very scared. Even to this point now, still scared of people knowing that, hey, like, I was a professional college esports producer with this big old grand studio, and like, look at these productions. They look so good, they look so beautiful. And then come back to see me like this, where I'm at a very, very bare bones home setup with none of the time or none of the none of the equipment and none of the additional coworkers as well, and none of the students to try and buff this up, and then just be like, wow, this guy like either was really carried because of his job, or is just fallen off to oblivion. And that's something that I've had a really hard time dealing with. Even still to this day, a little bit of a hard time, but trying my best to get over it. I'll give the Illuvium community credit that they've been extremely supportive. Gear, you've been extremely supportive. Of course, my wife and family extremely supportive, whether I was a VTuber or whether I was live like this, extremely supportive. So, trying my best to get over it and just do it. Now, in regards to the composition I've got running at hand here, so based off the start, I happened to get this Grass the Tipo and some augments that are kind of leaning in towards, at least to me, playing bunker, but I do also have the possibility of having maybe some rogues in here. So I really want to see how this ends up turning out. This is a strong enough team for the early game to where I'm not going to just lose streak. I know I may make a little bit more credits-wise in order to do that. And we'll see what gets thrown at me from there. If I can go for my favorite little bunker composition, I will. Seeing that I've got myself the links here, I might end up snagging that instead. Just gonna put my bunker idea a little bit astray, but we can still try this. And I thank you greatly. And yes, technically I resigned from the position. However, I had plenty of reason to. Plus, I was probably getting replaced anyway at the end of the year. If that wasn't the case, that sure as hell was the vibe, to say the least. All I gotta say, in heartbreaking fashion, what was a dream job definitely did not feel like it by the end of it. I love the broadcasting. Heck, if you were gonna reschedule on me and make my life difficult that way, I wasn't even having a hard time with that. It was the rest of the stuff that definitely made things difficult. Getting the additional purple fragment is nice, so I can lean into possibly getting Omega base. Now I'm torn here. Now I'm torn. The legendary augments can have me go one of either way. Here, I've got some time. What is everybody playing? Still really too early to tell. If I can get the penguin on the wheel, I will. But I would highly doubt that it's going to make it through. Yeah, there it goes. Scorpion, maybe? Scorpion does not make it through. I am just going to get a purple augment. And I think I'm going to try and commit to a Scion bunker playstyle from here, which would lead me into taking this instead. Gotten my other tank that I like as well. Gonna buff myself up to get that next level. So the Lynx is going to be here only for a temporary stay. I accidentally knocked out my empath. And the style that I like. Tight to the corner. Link's back there. I am not going anywhere near fast enough. So we'll be a little bit out of position, but we'll make it work. Oddly enough, that Lynx might just be powerful enough to get through here. Oh, maybe not. Now we're gonna come just short, I think. Unless this Ranger ult go... No, I went to the wrong target. Yeah, that sucks. Had that been onto the Ranger and its Tofi, that could have been a game changer. And yeah, I got blasted. Okay. So, definitely lost the round because I'm just straight up not fast enough. And I thank you all for the support. I appreciate it. Okay, if I keep finding Lynxes, it's just going to be a staple of the team at this point here. My goodness. Okay, do this so I can reset. Let's make its Omega crit while allowing it to attack faster and make its ability hit harder. Okay. Slightly move my guys over to allow my Lynx to safely funnel through. Stay just within range of my Atipo's shield, and still manage to not put a fragment on one of my characters. Like a boss, but let's see. Crit this thing. Oh, that was beautiful. Over 1,000. Okay, this Lynx is nasty. Absolutely nasty. I love it. Was only going to just use it for a while, but again, if I level this thing up to full stage 3, I might want to keep it. Okay, so Archie would end up being one of my healers. Another Tipo, another Lynx. I don't care for the Vermilion. I'm going to get rid of that. So now the question, do I intentionally start rolling for the Lynx here? It's a 10% chance to get it. Does anybody else have the next level? One person does. 2 people do. I'm going to go to 50 and see. Well, that was actually kind of helpful because I did get my Verdant. So now whether it's my Ranger or whether it's my Twine, once it drops below half, it'll drop a big old healing puddle and DPS puddle. There it goes right now. So I optimally want to change it so that it's the first thing targeted to get that healing field down faster. But I need to also give it some tank items so it just doesn't die immediately here. Ranger, you got this, right? And a Tipo? Oh, okay, there we go. I also want the Mammoth. If I'm going to eventually transition into Scions, the Mammoth is my friend. Okay. There's one that reduces energy cost. I absolutely want that in case the opportunity for Wildfire arrives. And then what I would optimally need, I think a Tipo, you can take a break. Archie, come in. Let's trade so that you go first. Stun comes second. That's fine. Lynx is there. I still haven't put this damn fragment on anything, so I'll finally do that. And let's greedy roll a few times for Lynxes. I'll take the Archie too. One more time because I'm greedy. No. Okay, so too many Lynxes are out on the board, I feel like, especially seeing one right here in front of me. So I might stop using economy on the Lynxes. It was unfortunate that my ability from my Ranger didn't come out until their shield did, so my Lynx is already dead. They're probably going to run on through me here. They did have level advantage, so fair enough. But yeah, I spent a lot and didn't get much, to say the least, in that instance. So optimally, my targets need to be kind of going towards my bunker. Tier 5's not going to cut it. I don't mind the Omnivamp. I'll hang on for a second. I don't mind that either. Just gonna go for the general tank, and the Pyre or the Fury is the one that ends up usually being one of the carries. So I'll take him. Not going to put him onto the field just yet, because I feel like compared to the Lynx, it's definitely a little underpowered at this rate. We'll ride with the Lynx for at least a little bit while I wait for the rest of my bench to be built. And even though I'm not going to necessarily intentionally go for more Lynxes, I'm going to keep mine on the bench just so other people don't get it. I believe there are many, like 3 or 4 people running Lynxes right now that have them at least up to the Relentless stage, so I will wait that out. If at any moment I end up getting the Heady as well and can start leveling that thing up, if I do bind the Ranger to the Groko, it is fire, so it would be able to give me Wildfire as a possibility. Getting that level up into the Archos is nice. Legendary again. Considering I'm going for the Fury, every attack dealing max health is fantastic. Maid already has a... Okay, I guess I'm not going for Sinolfs right now. How the heck did you manage that, Changer? A tier 5 leveled up already is kind of disgusting. I do this every time. I get something pretty, I look at it, and then I don't actually use it the round I get it. I absolutely deserve this L. Absolutely deserved. Yeah, exactly. You could have told me that one. Okay, this is just a last-ditch effort. Yeah, we'll take it. I need to level up this tank to actually make him worth it. Fleece, you can go. Give you this. Level twice. Now my Fury is here. Let me give you that. Let's build everybody else around them as best as we possibly can. Truly transition on into a bunker style. I don't want my links to get immediately jumped on, so I'm going to put the Groko in front of them as well. I kind of... I trapped my Atlas, though. Yeah, I trapped him. Whoops. Absolutely brutal on that front. Thankfully, he's able to get into the fight rather quickly. All things considered, I don't think I was punished too badly for that. This is going to be a scary little guy if I don't take him out immediately. There he goes. Did have a lot of lifesteal or the Omni Vamp. And yeah, we're going to clean this one up. Alright. Based off the damage charts, Link's still leading the charge. Granted, it does have a few more items. Okay, if I can get Mammoth, that would be an evolution, and I'd have somebody that I'd want to put into the field immediately. Getting another Chrono Flux is not a bad idea, or a Fate Sealer. I'm going to aim for the Mammoth. Got him. That worked out. It's a tanky fella, but he ends up also being a Scion. So, if I were to level up... Am I ready to level up right now? Okay, let me see. I can still stack you like this. Give you more attack speed. I think I am ready to start putting my points into leveling. There's no reason I keep that guy compared to this guy. Okay. As much as the 3 bulwark bonus is lost, I think just having an Atlas that immediately dies anyway was probably not the best option. Granted, not any of these are really the best option given the composition I've kind of drawn for myself right now. Still have our heals alive. They do not, but they have a lot of firepower. They're probably going to burn through. Yeah. Unfortunate. Well, there's Hetty a little bit later than I expected, but this could work. Optimally, I still do want 5 bulwark. Which would require Hetty being on the field. That gives me 3. Let's get rid of that. To try to make the change, this is probably a little bit reckless. Let me load Mammoth, actually. When you yeet things, it's gonna crit now. Or sometimes crit, anyway. Let's see, does this actually crush it? I wonder. Good roots, throw them. Come on. Oh, it didn't even make it. Unfortunate. I think we still clean up here. There goes their damage. And that is the empath staff, so we're fine there. We are in fine shape. And oddly enough, I'm still really close to actually getting a full lynx. If I find one more somehow. Granted, one of the guys who was running lynx has died somehow this early. Impressive. If I were to level up again, I can get the Atlas onto the field. Give me that 5 bulwark buff to start doing damage back at enemies when they hit me. Or optimally, in an even better case scenario, let's see. That's the combo I like. Give me a bulwark. Not quite, okay. Green for tank. Let's level up one more time. Okay. There's the squad. Let's give it to you. So you regen. Give you a little bit of extra damage. And now in this instance here, I am in prime position to begin rolling for my tank line to buff up a little bit. Just like that. It is a little bit weird though, the chances of us actually finding that final lynx now is extremely rare. A 3% chance. And as I watch my damage immediately get destroyed because I totally did not consider the Snalf on the other end there firing its laser at me. But I'll keep the lynxes for just a bit until my bench is truly hurting. There's 1, 2. Yeah, so 2 people are in the same boat. So the fact that I'm holding these lynxes are stopping people from being able to get it. And then there's Hetty. And now I'm torn between whether I want to run Verdant or Wildfire. Because making the change is easy, I just do this. Kinda like it though, like this, not gonna lie. But this really relies on my Ranger just be pumping out Omegas, which should be doable. I'm gonna try and keep track of that. Doing some decent damage so far. The crunk in the front line there popping off the smoke screen also causes the wildfires. You see everybody's burning now in the middle. It heals and deals damage at the same time. And it was close, but it was successful, and I honestly did not think I was going to win that fight, so that might have been the right call. And how about that? Now that's ridiculous. There's an argument to be made now that I don't even use Pyre in this instance. Basically got everything I could ask for. Now I trapped him in for a second, but I thought rogues were coming in. Does my guy even get to... Just move right, man. Thank you. Okay, good God, Lynx. If we still somehow win this, I am going to laugh, but this Lynx was literally sleeping on the job. It's doing a good chunk. It's... There we go. I didn't even need my carry for the first half of that fight, but I mean, we made it work. And now I get the Harbinger proc now that my Axon's leveled up. So we are actually sitting extremely pretty here, in my opinion. Doing okay overall. I know I was had a bit of a harder day today. Literally anything that could have gone wrong basically did, but it's not really anybody's fault, just unlucky. Unfortunately, went to go do the in-laws a favor and walk their dog, which shouldn't have been a big deal in the slightest. However, how crazy it was when all of a sudden my wife and the dog were walking, get attacked by another dog. And all that, of course, in front of the kids. I dropped the kids, go help her and whatnot, and it was definitely a scary instance. So we're all a little bit shook up today, but that is definitely something that kind of shook us up. She's okay, just a couple of claw marks from the dog, and then the dog we were walking, unfortunately, did get some pretty decent cuts to it, so that was extremely heartbreaking as well. Just people not putting their dogs on leashes when they know they have fences that do not contain the dog. So, very, very sad. And that's just it. Thankfully, it's not a case where like anybody was majorly injured, but it was still, like, especially for the dog, was something that they have to, of course, go to the vet for. They get stitches, and vet bills aren't cheap, and like, times are tough for everybody, and it's just adding up. Sad and frustrating, but we try to push on. Excuse me. In regards to the team comp right now, getting these squeezes off the rip here is pretty crazy too. I could eventually move over everything from my mammoth over onto the squeeze. I want to try and level it up first before I do. And I want to see what augments this NPC round gets me. My Lynx is still asleep on the job. Come on, bro. Yeah, that's brutal. Even the more simple things seem like they can cost so much, and it's frankly robbery, but at the same time they're professionals, or at least they're supposed to be. Ended up getting myself another wildfire proc, so I can basically make it so that any of my alluvials that I want could set things on fire. I think I'll give it, oddly enough, to the water one. Give my guys some beef. And I am rolling on a huge bankroll at the moment. Could very well make the push to level 9 and then just start rolling for 5s. for tier 5s. Immediately took out their carry. That was perfect. Lynx is mauling everything right now. So far, so good. It is finally going to fall, but the Mammoth is still looking good. Big stun, good shields. Everything's looking really good. Do have to deal with that Furiox in the back line, though, but I think we've got enough health to get there. Oh yeah, there we go. The Ranger ability comes out right at the right time, and we will look to level. Okay. So with that level, how do I want to handle this? I was gonna say, where are his units? But he's doing the trick, and that is a stacked lineup. So Desho is definitely looking like one of, if not the player to beat here today. I'm going extremely slowly here, so let's pick up the pace a little bit. And a nice change of events, I did actually get all the augments onto somebody immediately. Contrary to my usual play. Need to deal with that Blasphemite in the background, though, otherwise it could be scary if it ramps up. It does have that ability, or that augment that makes it shoot faster the longer the round goes on. My Lynx is still alive. My squeeze will finally fall. Where does this Ranger thing go? It's going directly towards the carries. Good damage, but we're out of damage. That's what I was worried about. So I need more firepower. I have plenty of Illuvials on the board. This is a rogue composition, which is just going to make me scared. Bring you to the background. Now I need to try and level my guys up here. I'm not sure which ones I want. Trade out tanks. Okay, there's one. Go crazy, why don't we? Where is the big guy? Oh god. This moment where it's going to jump directly onto my Octias, isn't it? Okay, no, the Crunk caught it, but that Penguin is still there onto my Ranger, so I'm not going to be getting anywhere near as many Wildfire procs as I thought. But hopefully the front line can hold long enough so that they can just solo the Penguin. There's a good stun, I like that. Somehow the Octia still isn't dead. It's finally going to fall. Do I have a Link still? Yes, it's asleep on the job as usual. It goes untargetable, but okay. I think we are going to be able to clean up. If... Guys, are you okay? Come on now. Okay, okay. Crazy that I had to question that. Okay, I'm not falling for this BS this time. So this is the one with the Sonolf in the background. They have the Invokers and whatnot, so let's see. Get this one here. I'm not going to put my main damage dealer in the perfect line of sight for that. Put you here, put you there. I think all things considered, if I played around it right. We will have to see if that actually turns out to be the case. Where is this laser beam going to go? Goes towards the Ranger, which unfortunately that does go through a lot of my tank line. One good shock, and there we go. We just have to deal with the one. So hopefully my front line can hang on just a little bit longer. The Lynx is about to go down. Good chuck there from the Mammoth. And I think I've got enough firepower to go through here. There we go. We're in this. I mean, that's a beefy little seer there, though. Or singe. But we got it. Now, one thing that I'm considering in this moment here, because right now my Flora Lynx has all of the attack damage carry items. And if I were to get my snake onto the board, excuse me, it would allow me to get the 4 scions, so give all of my guys a buff. But I'd have to remove these augments from the links in order to really get true value from that. It is heads up now, it is just me and the show. It's just an NPC round. I guess depending on what kind of augments I end up getting here, can help tell the tale. Let's grab that real fast. So this is the Scion comp. Is this the same composition I just ran against? Actually, I don't even know. There's a world. Let's see. If I get augmented here. Damage and attack speed. Is there a world where I can keep both? Do I even want to keep both? Because I feel like I'm just going to get shredded down. I need tank items on you. 1, 2, 3. That's unfortunate. So I didn't get everything, but even if I didn't, I think I have at least one more round here. In theory, my ranger should be able to cook up some good burst damage here, because it is a big ol' AoE. Okay, make it rain. Give me a reset. There we go. Starting to shred, but at the same time, we're falling badly, too. We probably do fall. I do not think the Lynx would have been the difference maker there. I wish I could see which augments I have. My mindset is that my big problem was staying alive, so I'm going to take a yellow fragment. I don't care about the alluvial I snagged, I'm just trying to get the fragment. But if I do lose again, I will be out of this one, so... we'll see. See, West says I have 3. I've heard of that. Okay, so I give that to you. What kind of utility do you have for me? What's a shield? Sure, we'll do that. Do I have enough to level? Is one more alluvial going to make the difference here? I don't think so. I think I would rather try and roll for one more squeeze if I can. And I'm not going to find it, it looks like. So I gotta kind of pray that this was enough, but I don't think it is. I think my front line's getting absolutely evaporated. I mean, we're holding our own. That's a beautiful stun. Oh, it's close, but it's not going to be enough. Hey, I'll take a second. That's still a positive. A good positive at that. All right. I think I can sneak in. Actually, I don't know. With each game taking about 30 minutes or so, it makes it close. I'm gonna queue up one more time. Let's try to go to 10:30. There's a lot of players, so it shouldn't take long. We'll probably be right on time then. Now I'm going to actually save it so that I match my drone. There we go. Yeah, the events from today definitely taken a toll on me and a little out of it, but I think we got one more. Just one more player and we're in this. Do it? Alright. Sounds good. It's been weird. Like, well, I had slightly teased that there was two things that kind of influenced going back towards a face camming style. I went into detail on the one, but I kind of forgot about talking about the other. And that is basically that it feels like the videos perform a lot better when it's not a VTuber. Which, given a lot of the content that I watch, I am very, very surprised, but I'm also very, very biased, considering that a lot of the content creators I do watch do end up being VTubers. So I did take great inspiration from them. However, excuse me, just being a VTuber while being a regular guy seems to be not as effective. Like, I'm not... what should I call it? If I quickly level up here. Okay, there we go. At least what it felt like is just like as a VTuber that's trying to be relatively tame and I guess quote-unquote normal. It feels like it just hasn't been working, but then any of the clips that I have recently where I'm doing my casting with the IPL, those clips are doing rather nicely. And there could be a few factors to it. It could be confirmation bias. It absolutely could be. Because, of course, worked quite a bit to get into the position that we're in right now. IPL is a little bit of a more known topic, and then by being on IPL, people kind of recognize me a little bit more, so maybe it's confirmation bias, but it really does seem that YouTube does not necessarily push the VTuber content, so in terms of a strictly branding sense, it kind of goes alongside with a couple of the community members in the Illuvium scene was saying, but might just be wiser to go back to being a regular YouTuber with a regular face, no animation. I'm not sure if I want to commit my fragments into an item yet, so I'm gonna wait. I really want to see what my weapon ends up being before I end up making a commitment of sorts. I thought we were doing well in that round, and then we died. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Okay, so I've got my Emberling once again if I'd like to go for it. The Ripple's kind of nice. Do we just... We'll go for water. And I know water is trash right now. But I think I want to try and make it work. Like, not pure water, but a heavy emphasis on it. With this setup, I already have 3 Bulwarks and 2 Scions, so already 2 pretty decent buffs here. As you can see, my tank line is hardly falling. But at the same time, because it's kind of water reliant, I'm not really doing much damage, so it's kind of making up for it in that regard. Getting my abilities out faster, but they aren't necessarily hitting any harder, so... I mean... Can at least trim... No, we're not going to be able to do it. I was hoping that maybe there'd only be one Illuvium. One thing that is kind of nice, though, the region here in this one, Brightland Steppes, makes it so that we have 130 health compared to 100. So I have more time to build out what I want. The Lynx this time ends up being a firefighter. I'll pick up the 1, but I'm more so hoping to see if we end up getting lucky and find a couple without actually rolling. Optimally, with having this much health, I'm okay taking a beating early. And we'll kind of see what ends up being thrown my way. Alright, Fleesh will fall. The damage is coming out of the Ranger, but the Ranger is rather low. But we might be able to squeak this out now that it's targeting the Totofi. There we go. Okay. Found links, but I am not again committing to it. And of course, it is pretty awesome to see that we're finding more and more people here in this game. Like, I recognize some people, but like 13 Cents, Yak, Jarby, DZN, Zoomers Only. I feel like this is probably the first time I've played against yes. And that is nice. Definitely a close one. I think our Ranger will carry us out here one more time. With the extra shot there from the Totofi. There we go. But yeah, since I know that I'm actually going to be doing it like this for a little while longer or a little bit more often, I can definitely look into some overlays to actually make this look a little bit more fleshed out. In a very similar situation to last game, it's not that I was going for the Lynx, but the Lynx found me, so we're gonna take it. If I do manage to find the next evolution, or the stage 3 form, it does become firefighting. It very well could make it nice when it comes to excuse me, getting steam later for the possible mage at the end of this group. But one thing this composition does also lack with is tank, but I want to really make sure that we can secure our firepower, so I want to snag the Lura. I'm just going to end up selling it, but I specifically wanted the purple fragment. Are we kidding? Okay, why not? They really want me to be going lynxes. So in this scenario, I pop this, gets the supercharger for damage. I mean, we've been here before. We know this one works. Let's do this. Let's get Titan Bane, maybe? Take it off a Fleesh. Rebinds. Put you here. Oh, optimally, maybe I should have made you a bulwark, but even putting that on wouldn't have given me much of a benefit for this round. So even though, yes, I missed the augment, it does not matter as badly as some of them. But this fight did not necessarily go in our favor. Duri, granted, has been doing a pretty solid job so far here in this game. We're going to trim the fat a little bit, but we are going to take a hit. Optimally, I find one more bulwark. And then I throw this onto something that's not a bulwark, and I have my 5. So in theory, my tank line is set, which means I can start focusing more so on the firepower for the team. I do think it would be wise to do a quick reset, so let's make you bulwark, water, give you that instead. Set this up like this. And then the only thing that I can buff, because I don't have that 5th bulwark right now, is just adding a Scion. Or actually, it would be wiser. We can bring a Riptor in here. Gives my Lynx a attack speed buff, so I'll take that. The one thing that I am missing from the tier 1s is in fact the tank. If I was able to get the Cartolo, I would be able to use it in this composition 100%. Just a matter of dealing with this Ranger. There it goes. The one thing that I will have to do as this game goes on, though, is switch one of my tanks over to the Seer, or the Flare or the Singe, whichever one, because I need something to bind to the Ranger to turn it into steam. And then because I am running the Axon, it would give me this Harbinger buff. We have potential here too to maybe even get a fully loaded, fully evolved Groko, which does not happen too often. I'm going to take that fragment off of him, give it to my Riptor. Because this is rogue composition, I'm just going to wait for just a moment's time and catch. Take a tank into the background. I probably could have protected that Fleesh a little bit better, not going to lie, but I think we're still in fine shape. not having that 5th bulwark is definitely hurting me a little bit. My Lynx would have been able to finish that, no problem. Yeah, that's a lot of low health bars. I would have been able to take it had I found it. I'm almost at 70, which is where you get your maximum amount of interest, so... Get there, maybe roll for some tier 1s. Unless I just straight up get Carlo the next round. I like the extra AoE. Getting the Lynx is just hilarious. I'm pretty much honestly right there. I'm gonna greed it. Greed out just like that. There we go. So now I don't even necessarily even need the flare because my Lynx is fire. And there is the Caribou. I'm going to do one more round like this, try to gain a little bit of economy back. Not fully hard commits. And actually, no, let's just get rid of the Fleesh, actually. Give you this. I do lose my Harbinger buff briefly, but when I level back up, I can get it back. There we go. The Fire Lynx just looks so damn cool. I love this thing. And it's sure enough going to be up to the Fire Lynx to get the job done here. Nice. That's what we like to see. Okay. Tier 4 buff and don't really care. Mitigation, I kind of care. Omega Power, considering I'm going for Omega Power, is probably the one I'm going to go for. Our Ox has leveled. That gives me Behemoth. This gives me Frost if the time arrives. Just kind of line it up like this for now, I suppose. Because it's just a NPC round, I'm not worried about leveling up or anything immediately. Take my time with it. Composite Crate. Additional Harbinger. I think I'll take that over additional Toxic, and the fact that I can place this on anything I want, that is kind of nasty. Here's a Riptor. I'm going to level myself up. I'm going to take the attack buff off this guy and see what it gives me. That can go onto my Scorpion. Can I then make the Scorpion a Harbinger? Bring Fleesh back on. And then make you, so that's 3 Harbinger. And there's my next Scion that I can use to replace, or do I even want to replace the Fleesh because now I got 6 water. I'll see, maybe this ends up working. Which again would be rare because normally water teams just get wrecked. Granted, it's a water team with a fiery Lynx, so it's kind of cheating a little bit, but it is working. Yep. That Lynx is disgusting, I am not gonna lie. So at this level here, this is where you kind of finish off the rest of your tier 1s if you wanted to go for them. Is there any tier 1s that I care for that much? No, but I find my Riptor, or Riptorus now. So this now gives me Toxic. I could potentially add another water into the line now that Penguin is here. Part of me wants to switch tanks. I think we'll try it. My reasoning in switching the tank, first off, it wasn't a water, so I was just trading an arrow for a water, or an arrow for a grass, so it's not a big deal, composition-wise. But with Kling in particular, that root that's about to fire off right now is a very, very good disruption tool, especially at stopping other casters. So I value that maybe a little bit more than just having one very, very strong AoE stun. That's why I'm going for it right now, and we're seeing, once again, so far so good. I don't think there's really anything that I really want to push for in this tier, so I think a level up is the next play. Hey, welcome back. PC decided to reboot itself. Well, I'm glad that's all that ended up being. Could definitely be worse. I may have my next target in sight. Mammoth is probably my first pick, but it's a lot of people's first pick, so fair enough. Dash would be nice as well, but at the same time so would Ebb. I will snag Ebb for the healing. This gets me actually extremely close to 8 water. Oh, well that doesn't sound pleasant at all. I just hope everything's okay. So Slappin is going to get another option. Oddly enough, if I level... Slap them. There's my 8 water. Fully loaded, ready to rock. We'll see if the extra lethargic buff here that stops them from generating energy is enough to get the job done here. Eventually, Fleesh will get replaced by Alfie, and that's where my big firepower starts to show up. So I'm not necessarily relying on this Link strictly. I think I have enough tank here. It's a bit of an awkward battle, but Axon has enough of a shield, and then the Bull will do just enough to get the job done. Slappin's going to level up, which is nice. Because I can no longer find these tier 0 units, I'm going to just get them off my bench to prevent cluttering it. The one thing that I did get rid of with that play, though, is I no longer have 5 bulwark. So, optimally... now we have it. Alright, get rid of that Gorilla if you can, please. That would be nice. But where are my carries? Right now it's still mainly the Lynx doing its job. Riptor's looking nice as well. We're going to be able to Zerg swarm this thing. There we go. This is the leader of the lobby, and we're taking them down nicely. So my next priority here is to build up a little economy, but also look to level so I can start finding my tier 4s or 3 4s and 5s. So optimally, this is actually the proper level to do it here. Level 8 is pretty high. So after this NPC round, let's see what kind of augments we get. And from there, we can make a play. I'm not sure if I really want the bulwark imprints. I guess that could work. Reduce energy. That's kind of the idea of this composition, actually. I will just hit bulwark just because I'm not sure what else that I would want. Who do I give the extra tankiness to? Because that is definitely where I'm going to hurt. This team is squishy. I'm gonna roll to 50 and see what I get. Okay. Squeeze could replace Alfie if I don't end up finding Alfie. But at the same time, I'd want the water imprint on it if I did. Alright, we're cleaning house once again here in this fight, it looks like. Good fleece shot right as it's going down. Yeah, we're just gonna Zerg Swarm it once again. Yeah, so this is actually working out extremely well. Again, I know it's not truly like pure water, but Link's coming in clutch here. So how many people are running water right now, I wonder? As per usual, next to nobody with the exception of a few units. So the Riptorus in particular, the Scorpion that I'm looking for, is nowhere to be seen. Resistances, I think we will take. There's Riptor. If I only had a green, or rather a spellcaster nature unit. So for this one, I just frankly did not position my team at all. Would not be surprised to see that ramp fight just kind of tear through, but at the same time, look at this, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. I'm genuinely very, very shocked because, again, normally water is a terrible typing. I mean, even the Mammoth would be something interesting to go into for that final Harbinger slot. There is Alfie. So we can make that hard swap. I'm not going to all in my augments onto them yet, but soon I would like to. And actually, if I switch, that's how you get the steam if I wanted it later. Okay. So yeah, the Lynx is basically replacing the role of a flare in this team composition. So I have the option to switch on over to Steam if I wanted to. I always mistrack the ranger, so I hate that my Alfie's already dead. But I think if I'm lucky, if we can deal with the bear, we're in good shape. The bear is gone. Okay, I think we're in good shape. And we do manage to have Tsunami because of our 2 waters. This guy leveling up gave it 2, so that's my healer of the team. Doing a good job there. I'm not going to count the chickens before they hatch, but we are sitting in a very, very good spot. So again, to 50. Next Riptor. Next Slappins. Looks like I want Mammoth. So I'd like to build them up. Am I actually going to use TNT? I don't think so. And the one thing I see coming right here, right now, that they are not going to like, I'm going to switch this position right now. It was going to go shoot into this thing all by itself on the right-hand side. I am not going to let that happen. He's going to shoot and then laser directly through the squad. There we go. Of course, it's still just a little guy. It's still just a little baby. So it does not do the firepower that I want, but if I can find a couple of more of these, we will be sitting pretty. We are going to probably get those sustained here. It's all up to the Lynx to actually bring the damage. Where did that damage actually... Okay. I genuinely thought they were going to hold the line there. So surprised that I'm dying a little bit over here, apparently. My goodness. Are there any Alfies here? They are not here. So what I would optimally look for is one of 2 things. Either a purple fragment, or if I can get the Scion buff, that will help Alfie. I'm not going to get the one, so I'm going to just try and find the highest one that I can with a purple. So far, everybody's taking all of my purples, so I'm going to wait for it and take it when it comes on the other side here. Because ultimately, I want to start stacking some augments onto Alfie as it evolves, in theory. This is an NPC round, so I am not going to roll for anything. Put you back in with the team here. And again, we're in good shape. There's a couple of players already. One eliminated, one on death's door. And we are leading this lobby. Still above 100 HP. It definitely helped that the game was literally just feeding me lynxes. Because again, that's where a lot of my firepower is at right now. Is that for the... Oh, 4 Harbinger. 100% go for that. One more Mammoth. And some more attack speed buff. This is where I think I'm going to make the switch now with my guys. Give you the special damage. I have one more Harbinger as well to use. Gonna just give it to Penguin. And now, between Rip Lances, or Riptors, and Alphys. That's what I'm going to be looking for here. I did not really pay much attention to their positioning, but this does actually line up quite nicely here for us. They do have that squeeze in the back line that is doing a ton of damage, though, but we are doing more damage once again. There we go, there we go. We're making water work here. And I almost missed that slapping, okay. That's the thing, nobody likes water because I think it's weak or something. And I just get these units for free. Don't die, I need to show my game to someone. Hey, I'm not going anywhere. Optimally, I want to level up to level 9, but at the same time, I kind of want to get Riplance first. Oh my lord, it's Christmas. Once again. Why do I have a gorilla? There. Kind of want to just try and roll it out. I end up finding Alfie, so that's actually even better than what I was expecting to get. These are rogues, so I do want to cover up the squad as best as I possibly can. I think that'll do nicely. Mammoths are here too. I honestly just don't think I have the space for mammoths right now. Slapping, alright. It's a shame that I don't have anything in regards to attack speed and auto-attack damage. Otherwise, the slapping being here would be even more incredible. Soon have another game. Those always end up being the best ones, right? The ones that take forever to set up. And there is a Riplance. Hello, you beautiful bastard. Okay. With that now being out on the field here, my options are ridiculous. So now it's got the direct line directly to their healing, so this should be strong in theory. Slappin', go over there so you don't get targeted immediately. Twine, it's okay if you get attacked first, we're gonna be right there to back you up. And here comes the damage, look at this! Just like that, it's up to the Ranger. That is incredible. Okay. I know I keep hyping it up, but I genuinely probably have never piloted a team this ridiculous. I just found my niche, and I'm really abusing it right now, to say the least. Again, since nobody intentionally goes for water, like, people will go for this guy. They'll go for the penguin when they're playing rogues. But to go all water like this, I've rarely seen, if ever seen. This guy's composition, so this is Scion Revenant, okay. The team does scare me, and the fact that they have the Octus here makes me want to kill him right now because I want my own Octus. So I am going to level him up. Mammoth is coming to play now. This gives me Scion boost as well for some additional Omega power, so my boy here, the Sinalph, is going to hit even more like a truck. Let's see, because it's going to go directly into that Octius. Can I one-shot it? Yes, yes. No, the shield came out at the last possible second. Okay, so the fact that we lost Alfie is definitely heartbreaking. A bit of a closer fight, but we're still winning it. There we go. So with Ya being gone, that opens up Mammoths, that opens up Octius. And I don't have to rush to get them. Nobody else is running it. I am literally finding the perfect lobby where nobody is playing any of the things that I want to play. So rather than rush it out, I will save this as like a final straw kind of thing, where I'm at 100 and something HP, 109. I am just going to save up as much credits and much money as I can and try to solely focus on my positioning with each battle. See if maybe that is enough to take me to the top 2. Then once I'm there, then I will spend. If I find either Sinal or Alfies or Squeezes, I'll gladly purchase those. But everything else I will hold up on. Is that an energy? Oh, even more magic damage? Interesting. Pick the one for speed, start things off. It's giving me all energy stuff. This is insane. Absolutely Christmas, and we've got even more Squeezes. Oh my goodness. I will give these augments to other Illuvials for the time being. Just so that they're actually getting some use. Now, Zoomers was leading this lobby at one point, but seems to be getting close to death's door here. Sacrifice Axon. In theory, I've made a nice little trap here. Let's see if this works. That way they go directly in there. Sinal, fire it off. And they're gone. Just watch out for this Ramfire. It's fully evolves. Good dodge there from the Scorpion. There we go. Damn, we almost killed him from like 20-something health. Excuse me. It's like there's nothing that I really need from any of these players either. So like I don't have to force myself to roll faster at all. Is any of my guys here? They are not, so... At this point, probably just go for that purple. If it stays on the board, there is only the one. That is one of the Illuvials that could give me a hard time too if it were to charm my Sinal while it was shooting, but no fear, I do manage to get my own counter away. And it has the augments I want. Because optimally what I eventually want to do is find one more Squeeze and make it so that that Squeeze has a full set of augments by the time it comes out. But it does take a lot to get to level 10. I do have one Bulwark too many, actually. There is a play that I could make, maybe even right here, right now. And we don't have to wait. It's a bit of a greedier play. Because, we'll see, the twine was kind of like my meat shield for just that first few seconds. I didn't realize I had 6 bulwarks. Fire on through. Rip Lance is going to immediately shred through that gorilla as it dives on through. There we go. Take care of the healer if we can. It feels like that was doing negative damage, but we'll get another shot here in just a moment's time. There it goes. Rip Lance still looking strong, and it is firing off shots like nobody's business. Just gotta deal with the one TNT, and we should be in fine shape. No more damage left early on this team. Might be a fully evolved App-on, but we will laser this thing down. There we go. Okay. So, from there... Penguin, where did you go? Where did my penguin go? It didn't sell my penguin, did it? Okay, what the... Okay, the game's scaring the crap out of me, apparently. Y'all saw that too, right? Okay, that was weird. So because of that, I freaked out and didn't end up making any of the moves that I wanted to do. I mean, my eye prescription has gotten stronger, so you might be onto something, but my eyes are getting worse. That is fair. That is a fair assumption to make. My Sinalf by itself is having a hard time breaking that back line. And a lot of that was, again, due to me just misplaying that entire time. So, I know what to do. Frustrating I couldn't do it on that turn, but it's okay. We'll try it the next time by. That's just up against Changer. Sheesh. Yeah. That's definitely a little concerning. Okay, so now we actually try to make the play here. So Penguin needs to come down. Let's give you back the other perks. Give Octius 1. Rip Lance come down. Give you the attack damage based ones, but squeeze these ones. And now I can slowly try to see if I can find that other DPSs. The guy did a good job of positioning his Flood off to the corner. They know to play around my Sinalf, however, they are going to immediately just get shredded by my Penguin, because it is strong enough by itself to get the job done. This is definitely getting closer, though. These aren't free battles by any means anymore. Yeah, this is definitely getting tougher now. Does anybody have any squeezes? No. Because I'm literally looking for one more to be able to finish the job here. That is absolutely crazy, Gear. My goodness. Excuse me. NPC round once again coming up. And we are down to heads up Illuvium, so it's just up to... Or actually, the guy that I just lost to a little bit ago just got eliminated, so it is just down to one. So I don't mind anything with attack damage. I also don't mind really anything of anything. So there we go. That is good. Fury Heart to slap in would be nice. The Titan. That's what like well. Let's see, which is my best tank? If we do so much damage, I completely just disregard tankiness. So I'm gonna actually give it to my Scorpion. Oh, that might have been a bad idea, actually. I'll try it once. I'll try it the one time. Let's roll for the squeeze. There you are. Hello, beautiful. And then if I wanted to level up one more time, I absolutely could. The last possible second, I'm going to move my Alfie around. So optimally it shoots to the left directly towards the snake. There we go. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Granted, I did put myself into a dangerous position with the rest of the rogues. But it's letting my Hephaesto, the big squid, just rain down damage, but I am losing my front line. Mammoth Yeet directly in there. Big shock one more time. There we go. Okay, so I gotta really do my best to actually keep Hephaesto alive here. This has turned into the carry of sorts in this fight. I'm going to keep looking and see if I can level up my guys. I'm rolling so fast I'm kind of screwing up a little bit here, though. I don't need to power roll right now, so I'm okay. Make the changes as seen here. You can see we're literally just like tap dancing around each other here with our Illuvial's positioning. There we go, their heals are gone. Resets on the Hephaesto. We've already cleaned up so many of their Illuvials. Yes, thank you, Nick. Yeah, this is a rarity. I don't necessarily find myself near the top this often, but we're making this work. I still don't have to roll as much as I would love to just get greedy and kill Jarire here right now. I will behave. I don't have to go. Not right now. Not yet. If I were to level up to level 10, what would I want? I don't think Twine is the answer to that. I'm gonna give him a round to just do exactly as what he pleases. And see if I can still do it. They're opting for a lot of heals. I can start off with a few. There we go, good shocks. Go for the other healer. Good. One more shot through a lot. Big damage, one more time. Big damage, this is close. No, I'm not gonna break the seer, I don't think. Oh, hang on. Very close. That killed? I had 61 health. Are you kidding me? Oh, I feel like an idiot now if that's the case. My goodness. From 61 health. Oh, that one hurts. I had a lot in the bank that I could have spent there. GG. I did not take into consideration that 61 health was probably not enough. Damn. Alright. Hey, all things considered, this was still a positive experience. And I think I may even just make this entire match as a whole as its own video, because hardly ever do I see like water-based compositions do that well. And I'm happy that I was able to make it work, and then I was in the right position to win. But I don't know if it was because it was in Brightland Steps and we were so deep into the game that it's just a crazy amount of damage. That still doesn't feel right to me. But it is what it is at the end of the day. What I would have done if I had the one more round, I would have either decided to roll for additional Alfies to try and get the fully evolved Alfie. Which, being able to have bursted a few things down a little bit faster definitely would have helped. And if I was able to get there early enough, I would have then put the credits into my my level, get level 10, throw the Scarabok out there just so I had one more stun in the play. That's what I would have done. It all made sense. The game plan was there. It was just slightly off. But that's okay. Hurts a little, but that's okay. But with that being said, I will be calling it a night in just a moment's time. I need to construct additional pylons. Yes, exactly. I needed more overlords, apparently. But yeah, of course, that will be it for today's stream. I will be back on Friday for my monthly progress report, where I kind of just pull back the curtain a little bit, talk about how the content creation dream and journey has been going, and then kind of give a bit of a forecast as to what to expect for the next upcoming month. This month has been an absolute blast, especially, and I look forward to more. Of course, the IPL 250 is also happening on Friday, but it stops at 6 p.m. and then the next session starts at 10, so it's basically outside of our stream range, and I am also not scheduled for the Illuvium stream for this weekend coming up. So we will recap everything IPL 250 probably next Tuesday, but otherwise, that is the game plan for the stream. Again, big thank you for everybody who tuned in. Hope you had a nice chill night. Laughed at my misplays and misfortune, but also rode along with some of the highs as well. Definitely a pleasure.